Hey everybody, my name is Alex Kerr, and I did my leadership book review on the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. I have the hard copy right here. It's written by Stephen Covey, and the reason I chose this book actually is kind of funny. I actually got it as a gift from my dad going into college, and going into college, I was never really a huge book reader or anything like that, but I started it, never actually finished it, and so I figured, now is as good a time as ever to finish the book. Actually, I started from the beginning. It's been a while, but it's also a book where it's very big on personal development, great leadership, start with great character, starting with yourself essentially, and so it's definitely another reason as to why I chose the book. So with that said, let me get my slideshow going here. Okay. And so, what is the book about? So this book, it's not, a quick list of leadership tips or anything like that. I'd say it's more so of a framework for becoming a person who is able to lead with integrity, purpose, great character, things like that. Covey does a pretty good job of structuring the habits as more so of a personal growth journey, I'd say. You kind of start in the dependent stage, where you might blame others or feel like life happens to you. Then you move on to independence, where you start, more so owning your choices and your decisions. And then finally, you reach interdependence, where you're able to, influence, collaborate, and lead others in more so a meaningful way. It's less about, a strict strategy or anything like that. It's more so about your mindset and your character. Next slide. So, what are these seven habits? So, the first one is being proactive, being able to take responsibility for your actions. Next one was begin with the end in sight. And so, with that, being able to set your goals clearly and each action that you take coincides with reaching that goal. Next one, put first things first, being able to prioritize. That's something that, whatever your job is during the day, you have to be pretty good at, being able to prioritize, realize what's important, do that first, and, be able to take care of the stuff on the back burner later. Next one is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Being able to practice empathetic listening, really trying to understand, how your other coworkers operate, your team operates, understand where they're coming from, and being able to, realize, what they're saying and things like that. Next one is synergize, combine strength through collaboration. And last one is sharpen the saw, regularly renew yourself in areas, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, social, emotional, things like that. I'd say each and every one of us who's watching, anybody watching this video right now, that's what we're doing by, participating in this MBA program. So we're already on the path. So all right, next slide. So how does this book kind of connect to the course? So found that, the first habit, being proactive, it's about self-leadership and focus of control. With that, the next one is found that habits 4 and 6 were able to relate to Heifetz and Linsky's adaptive leadership concepts with, conflict management and collaboration. Habit 5 had to do with crucial conversations and active listening. Habit 7, lifelong learning, core to transformational leadership. Um, Next one is my personal insights and takeaways. For me, my biggest takeaway is that leadership starts with, who you are, not your job or your title or your role. It's a character thing. Habit 3, putting things first really challenged me. I realize I often prioritize what's not urgent, what's not most meaningful. Whenever you have a lot of things on your plate at work, it can get a little bit overwhelming sometimes. So being able to really just realize and understand, what's more important, focus on that first and go from there. Habit 5 was also something that I enjoyed. I started noticing how often I listen just to respond, not to really understand. Sometimes you're overwhelmed at work and you're just, not really able to fully try and understand somebody because you have a million other things going on. So, really just being able to not just really try to understand. That's something I've been trying to shift, especially, in work meetings and even personal relationships as well. So really overall, the book helped me reflect on how I can lead with more purpose and clarity in everyday life. Next slide is for critique and evaluation. Overall, I thought the book was pretty powerful, practical. Habits are clear, and Covey gives a lot of examples that make them easy to apply. Some parts did feel a little bit dated, was light. It was very rather light on modern workday challenges, how, versus, when this book was written, everybody's in the office every day. There's not really a ton of examples, how remote work and hybrid work can kind of factor into some of how this stuff goes on. Um, Other than that, some of the metaphors felt a little bit dated as well, but overall, the principles were spot on. Very meant a lot. Lastly, definitely recommend for anybody who's, looking to be an emerging leader, manager, or, whatever type of leadership role that you're striving for. It's best for readers who like self-reflection. I think it's something that I'm going to take with me, and make sure that what I'm doing each and every day is aligning with, as best as I can with the 7 habits of this book. Other than that, you just have to be willing to reflect and actually apply the habits in your day-to-day life. If you do that, I really think you'd see a big difference in how you lead, work, and interact with others as well. Other than that, that is all I had. So thank you everybody for watching, and have a great rest of your day.